Emma's scream sliced through the night. Sarah Martinez froze outside the nursery door, her heart pounding. For 3 weeks, the 2-year-old had woken with the same nightmare, and tonight it was worse. She pushed the door open. Emma sat upright in her crib, cheeks wet with tears. Her twin brother Ethan slept on, oblivious. "Mama," Emma whispered when she saw Sarah. Sarah's chest tightened. 6 months ago, Emma had started calling her that. Sarah always corrected her, but the word still sent a shock through her. She didn't know why. "I'm here, sweetheart." She scooped Emma up, rocking her gently. The child's tiny body clung to her as if she truly belonged in Sarah's arms. But she didn't. Emma and Ethan belonged to Alexander Kane, ruthless billionaire, absent father, the man who had hired Sarah 2 years ago. Sarah stroked Emma's hair. "Bad dream again?" Emma nodded, her little voice trembling. "Scary man, he'd take me away." Sarah's blood ran cold. The same nightmare, every single night. She had told Alexander. He'd brushed it off. She glanced down at Emma's tear-streaked face. The same olive skin as Sarah, the same dark eyes. People often joked they looked alike, but lately, Sarah couldn't laugh it off. And Ethan, he had Alexander's jawline but Sarah's hair, coincidences that made her stomach twist. Sarah laid Emma back down, humming until her eyes fluttered shut, but unease gnawed at her. She knew almost nothing about the children's mother. Alexander never spoke of her, only that she had died in childbirth. And yet, Sarah had her own dreams. Dreams of 3 years ago, when she was a waitress in Seattle, a man with kind eyes, worn jeans, and a crooked smile. His name had been Alex. For 1 week, he'd made her feel like she mattered, and then he vanished. Her boss could not be that man. Alexander Kane was cold, distant, polished to perfection. A billionaire who barely looked at her. He couldn't be Alex. Could he? Footsteps in the hallway pulled her back. Alexander entered the kitchen in his immaculate suit, eyes glued to his phone. "How were they today?" he asked without looking up. "Good, but Emma had another nightmare. You should talk to a child psychologist." For a moment his eyes softened, then his jaw tightened. "She's fine. Kids have dreams." "This is every night," Sarah pressed. "She's terrified." "I said she's fine." His voice was final. Sarah swallowed her protest. She needed this job. Half her salary went to her sick mother in Mexico. She couldn't risk angering him. Alexander turned back toward his office, and Sarah watched him leave, her heart thundering. The way he moved, it was too familiar. Shaking her head, she went back to the nursery. Emma stirred again, murmuring through her tears. Alex, help me." Sarah froze. "Alex." Her hands trembled as she lifted the child into her arms. Emma's eyes, so much like hers, blinked up at her. "Mama," the little girl whispered. "Why doesn't Daddy love us?" Sarah's heart cracked open. She kissed Emma's forehead, whispering, "He does, sweetheart. He's just busy." But doubt clawed at her. Was it true? And a darker thought slipped in, one she could no longer push away. What if Emma and Ethan weren't just Alexander Kane's children? What if they were hers too? Sarah couldn't sleep. Emma's words wouldn't leave her head. Why doesn't Daddy love us? By 2 a.m., she gave up and went downstairs. The Kane mansion was dark, silent, except for a sliver of light under Alexander's study door. She froze. He was still awake. Sarah had only been in that study twice in 2 years. But tonight, her feet carried her there before she could stop herself. The door was cracked open. Alexander sat at his massive desk, head in his hands. His shoulders shook. Sarah's breath caught. He was crying. The ruthless billionaire. Crying. "I'm sorry," he whispered into the empty room. "I'm so sorry, Sarah. I ruined everything." Sarah's blood went cold. He said her name. She edged closer, her hands trembling. On his desk lay a photograph. Alexander pressed it to his chest. I should have looked for you. I should have tried harder, but I was scared you'd reject me. I had nothing to offer you then." Sarah's knees buckled. He wasn't talking about some random woman. He was talking about her. "Our children look just like you," he whispered. "Every day I see your face and theirs, and it kills me. They need their mother, but I destroyed any chance of that. Our children." Sarah clutched the door frame, her world spinning. Emma and Ethan, hers? Memories slammed into her. 3 years ago, working double shifts at a diner. A man in wet jeans and a crooked smile walking in just before closing. His name was Alex. For 1 week, he had been everything kind, funny, gentle. He'd told her about starting a tech company. She told him about her dream of nursing school. On the last night, she confessed she was falling in love. The next morning, he was gone. No note, no call. 2 weeks later, she was pregnant. She tried to find him, but all she had was Alex. Months of searching and nothing. Then the bleeding, the hospital, the doctors saying the baby was gone. But what if they were wrong? What if she had carried twins and never knew? Sarah slid to the floor, gasping for air. Back in the study, Alexander still clutched the photo. "I hired an investigator. He told me you died in a car crash. God, Sarah, I thought I lost you forever." Sarah's eyes darted to his desk. Next to the photo was a stack of papers. She staggered closer, heart pounding. 2 birth certificates. Emma Rose Kane, Ethan James Kane, born the 15th of March. Mother, Sarah Elena Martinez. Father, Alexander Kane. Her name, staring back at her in black ink. She couldn't breathe. "Sarah?" Alexander's voice snapped up. He'd seen her in the doorway. His face went white. "You," she whispered. "You're Alex." He stood slowly, horror in his eyes. "Sarah, you're supposed to be dead." "I'm not dead," she said, shaking. "But I thought my baby was." They stared at each other, 2 ghosts of the past, standing between 2 children they both loved. From upstairs came the sound of crying, Emma's voice. "Mama, Daddy." Sarah and Alexander rushed up together. Emma sat up in her crib, eyes wide. She looked at Sarah first. "Mama," then at Alexander. "Daddy?" Tears filled his eyes. He lifted her gently, whispering, "Yes, baby, I'm your daddy." Emma clung to his neck, sobbing. "Bad man took Mama away in my dream." Alexander looked at Sarah over Emma's shoulder. His voice was low, firm. "The bad man won't take Mama away anymore. I promise." But Sarah's stomach twisted. Because promises could break, and deep down she knew someone had been lying to her for 3 years. The question was, who? Sarah sat frozen at the kitchen table, watching Emma and Ethan eat breakfast. Her children. Her real children. Even Emma sensed something had changed. Her big eyes flicked between Sarah and Alexander, curious, unsettled. Alexander broke the silence. "We need to talk about 3 years ago, but not here, not in front of them." Sarah nodded. "Mrs. Chen can watch them." When Mrs. Chen arrived, Sarah and Alexander drove straight to St. Mary's Hospital. Sarah's hands shook as they walked through the doors. The last time she had been here, she thought she had lost everything. In the records office, Alexander pulled strings until they were handed Sarah's old file. She opened it with trembling hands. "Dr. Richard Hoffman," she read. Her heart sank. "But my doctor was Dr. Williams." Alexander's brow furrowed. "Dr. Williams wasn't working that night?" Sarah flipped pages. "It says he was called away. Hoffman delivered the babies." "Babies," Alexander echoed. His eyes hardened. Sarah kept reading. "Patient delivered twin infants, both babies healthy. Mother lost significant blood, sedated for 3 days." Her breath caught. "They lied to me. Hoffman told me they were dead, but it's right here, both alive." Alexander took the file, jaw tight. "Sarah." Someone planned this. Someone wanted to separate us. But who? His face darkened. I think I know. My stepmother, Victoria Kane. Sarah's stomach twisted. Why would she do that? When my father died, everything went to me. Victoria only got scraps. She's hated me ever since. And look at this. He pulled out his phone, showing a headline. Kane Technologies goes public. CEO becomes billionaire overnight. The date, the 20th of March, 5 days after the twins were born. She knew I'd be rich, Alexander said. If anything happened to me, my heirs would inherit everything. And if she controlled them, Sarah's voice cracked. She planned to steal them, control them. Not just her, Alexander said grimly. Hoffman, he's been her boyfriend for 2 years. The truth hit like ice. He convinced me my babies were dead, and she arranged for you to take them. Alexander pulled out his phone. I'm calling my lawyer before she moves again. The screen lit up. Caller ID, Victoria Kane. Alexander went pale. She knows. He answered. Hello, Victoria. Her voice was cold. Alexander, we need to talk. I'm at your house, with the children. Sarah's heart stopped. She has them. What do you want? Alexander demanded. I want you home, immediately, and bring the nanny. We have things to discuss. The line went dead. Alexander and Sarah ran for the car. Her voice shook. She has our babies. She won't hurt them, Alexander said, flooring the gas. She needs them alive. For now, Sarah whispered. But when she gets what she wants? Alexander's knuckles were white on the wheel. I won't let her hurt our family. Not again. The words should have comforted Sarah. Instead, dread pressed down like lead. When they pulled into the driveway, Victoria's sleek car sat in front. Mrs. Chen was visible through the window, terrified. But Emma and Ethan, nowhere. Sarah's phone buzzed. A text. From Victoria. Come to the study. Come alone. If you bring the nanny, you'll never see the children again. Sarah grabbed Alexander's arm. Don't leave me. We go together. His eyes burned with pain. Sarah, I can't lose you again. I can't lose them. You won't, she whispered. We do this together. We're their parents, both of us. Alexander nodded. Together, they stepped toward the house, neither knowing that Victoria had one more devastating secret waiting, a secret that would rip apart everything they thought they knew about family. Victoria Kane sat behind Alexander's desk like she owned the world. Platinum hair, ice blue eyes, flawless suit. She smiled when they entered, cold and cruel. Sarah Martinez, she purred. I was wondering when you'd finally figure it out. Sarah's voice shook. Where are Emma and Ethan? Safe, for now. Victoria leaned back. Sit. We have so much to discuss. Alexander didn't move. What do you want? What I've always wanted. Control of this family. She opened a folder. You think I didn't know Sarah was here? I placed her. I've been watching for 6 months, waiting to see if she'd realize the children were hers. Sarah's stomach dropped. You put me here? Of course, and it was entertaining. 2 years, and neither of you saw the truth. Alexander's jaw clenched. You used her. Victoria's smirk sharpened. Used her? My dear, legally, Sarah doesn't exist. Her name is listed as deceased. Alexander is the sole parent. Emma and Ethan belong to me as much as they do to you. That's fraud, Alexander snapped. Prove it. Dr. Hoffman is dead. Car accident. And the records sealed forever. Sarah's legs trembled. You had Hoffman killed. Victoria shrugged. People with guilty consciences make mistakes. I simply tidied up. Alexander's fury burned. What do you want? Custody. You'll sign it over to me. And Sarah, you'll disappear again. This time, for good. Never, Alexander growled. Victoria's tone cut like glass. "If you don't, I'll have Sarah arrested for child abandonment and fraud. Who do you think they'll believe? The billionaire CEO or the poor immigrant waitress who came back from the dead?" Sarah's chest heaved. "You're insane." "No," Victoria whispered. "I'm practical. The Kane fortune belongs to the Kanes, not to you." Alexander's phone rang. He answered, face draining. Mrs. Chen's voice shook on the line. "Mr. Kane, the children are gone. A man came with papers, said he was from Child Services. He took them." Victoria's smile widened. CPS got an anonymous tip. Neglect, temporary custody while it's investigated. Sarah's knees buckled. "Bring them back." "I will, once the papers are signed and Sarah is on the next plane to Mexico." Alexander's hands trembled. "If I sign, what guarantee do I have?" "You don't," Victoria cut him off. "Refuse, and you'll never see them again." Alexander looked broken, ready to sign, but Sarah's voice cut through. "Number." They both turned to her. Sarah stood tall, trembling but defiant. "You made one mistake, Victoria. You let me love them. And love makes people dangerous." Victoria's eyes narrowed. "What are you saying?" Sarah lifted her phone. "I recorded everything. Your confession about Hoffman, the fraud, the kidnapping, the threats. It's all here." For the first time, Victoria's mask cracked. "That recording won't hold in court." "Maybe not," Sarah said, "but the media won't care. Imagine tomorrow's headline. Victoria Kane kidnaps her step-grandchildren, fakes death of their mother." Alexander's gaze sharpened. "It would ruin you." Victoria's lips twitched, faltering, but then she laughed. "You think this is over? I've been planning for 3 years. I have backup plans for my backup plans." She swept toward the door. "You have 24 hours. Sign or lose everything, including the children." The door slammed. Sarah collapsed into a chair, breath ragged. Alexander's voice was grim. "She doesn't bluff. She'll destroy us." Sarah looked up, eyes blazing. "Then we don't wait 24 hours. We end this tonight." "How?" "We find our children," she said, her voice steel, "and we make sure Victoria Kane never hurts another soul again." But as they began to plan, neither knew Victoria had already set her final trap. And this time, someone wasn't making it out alive. They had 12 hours. Sarah and Alexander sat in the study, every second ticking like a hammer. "She said CPS took them," Alexander muttered, pacing. "But if she lied..." Sarah scrolled furiously through Victoria's social media on his computer. People like her always leave breadcrumbs. Alexander called his lawyer. "Marcus, check CPS records. Were my kids taken?" Silence. Then Marcus's voice, grim. "No record. CPS never touched them." Sarah's stomach dropped. Then she has them, herself. Scrolling, her eyes froze. A photo. Victoria in front of a mountain cabin. "That's her weekend house," Alexander said. 2 hours north, isolated. Before they could move, Alexander's phone buzzed. Unknown number. He answered. "Hello? Daddy?" Emma's small voice trembled. Sarah clutched his arm. "Emma? Baby, where are you?" "I don't know. It's cold. Ethan's crying." The lady said, "You don't want us anymore." Sarah's chest shattered. "That's not true, sweetheart. We're coming for you, I promise." Static, then silence. Alexander's eyes met hers. "The cabin. It has to be." They drove through the night. Sarah's hands shook in her lap. "She made you believe I was dead. How?" Alexander's jaw was tight. "I hired an investigator. He brought me a death certificate. Photos of a car accident. I believed it." Sarah whispered. "Sick. She paid him off." "She wanted me grieving. Easier to control." Silence filled the car. Then Sarah asked the question she'd buried for years. "Why did you leave without saying goodbye?" His voice cracked. "Because I was a coward. I thought you deserved better than a broke failure." Sarah's eyes burned, but her voice was steady. "You should have let me decide that." "I know. I've regretted it every day. She reached across, squeezing his hand. We can't fix the past, but we can fight for the future. The mountain loomed. Lights glowed from the cabin windows. They parked half a mile away and slipped through the trees. A hulking guard sat inside, flipping through a magazine. Upstairs, faint light glowed. "The kids," Sarah whispered. Alexander pulled out his phone. "I'll call the police. Number, if she hears sirens, she'll run with them. We need a distraction." Sarah's eyes landed on the generator outside. Alexander nodded. 5 minutes. I'll pull them out. You get them." Sarah's voice broke. "I love you." "I love you too. Now go." She slipped inside the back door. The cabin smelled of smoke and leather. The guard laughed at the television downstairs. Upstairs, 3 doors. First, bathroom. Second, empty. Third, Ethan's muffled sobs. "Mama?" Emma's voice, tiny. The door was locked. Then, boom. The generator exploded outside. The lights flickered. The guard cursed and bolted out the front door. Sarah rammed her shoulder against the wood. Pain shot down her arm. Again. The lock splintered. The door flew open. Emma and Ethan huddled on the bed, eyes wide. "Mama!" Emma ran into her arms. Sarah swept them both close. Heart pounding. "It's okay. We're going home." They reached the stairs, then froze. The front door slammed. Heavy footsteps. A voice on the phone. "They're here," the guard said. "Kane and the woman. What do you want me to do?" Sarah's blood turned to ice. Victoria had been waiting. This wasn't a rescue. It was a trap. And in part 2, Sarah and Alexander will uncover Victoria's final plan, one that demands a life. Whose life will it be? Don't miss it. Hit subscribe and tap the notification bell so you're the first to know when the next chapter drops.